There is a louder, bolder version of you locked behind habit, fear, and wiring. Not weaker. Not broken. Simply out of reach. You can sense it, a quiet, steady pressure in the center of your chest, that small, unmistakable feeling that something bigger is trying to get out. It shows up like a nudge, a flash of clarity, the version of you that already knows what to do if you'd only let it. That's not fantasy. That's a signal. It's the future you trying to boot up. The reason it's offline is simple: your mind learned safety over boldness. It was trained to seek permission. Inner alchemy is the process that rewrites that operating system, not with slogans, not with positive thinking, but with method, measurement, and relentless practice. If you want confidence that does not bend when life slams against you, you must become an alchemist of your own interior. This is the science of that transmutation. You don't lack potential. You lack conditioning. From childhood, your brain learned a survival algorithm: avoid social pain. The amygdala, the old, fast part of your brain, is wired to register disapproval as danger. Every avoidance, every hedge, every "I'm not sure" was reinforced because the short-term world rewarded compliance over courage, parents praised obedience, teachers rewarded quiet conformity, bosses promoted people who didn't challenge the status quo. Those small, repeated approvals trained you to play it safe instead of stepping forward. Over time, your neural pathways carved tracks for hesitation. Habit beats intention every time. Then there is identity. Most people's self-definition is borrowed. I'm someone who doesn't cause trouble. I'm shy. I'm cautious. Those descriptions become predictions. The brain hates prediction error, so it biases behavior toward confirming the label. That's how a self-fulfilling prophecy becomes a prison. And finally, social scripting. You absorb the polite scripts of your culture, qualify, soften, apologize. Those scripts were adaptive in certain small group settings, but they are lethal at scale. They diffuse gravity. They convert statements into suggestions. That quiet voice inside you that apologizes before you speak is not insight. It is a habit loop that has taken away your ability to act with confidence. Inner alchemy reframes this diagnosis. It treats confidence as an engineered state, not a mystical trait. It recognizes the neurobiology, the feedback loops, the identity architecture, and then it applies specific levers: deliberate exposure, microdosing of discomfort, and progressive mastery. That's how you move from conditioned hesitation to calibrated force. Let's be blunt. Confidence is not optional. It's the foundation of influence. If you want to lead teams, launch products, build a reputation, or create space for deep work, none of that scales without internal authority. From a social perspective, people use conviction as a shortcut. When someone sounds like they know where they're going, the rest of the brain shortcuts into acceptance. People mistake certainty for competence because uncertainty is costly to evaluate. If you want to be chosen for jobs, partnerships, opportunities, certainty is the recruiter's filter. From a performance perspective, confidence reduces cognitive load. When you stop second-guessing, you invest more energy into execution. Decision friction collapses. That is how speed compounds into advantage. The first mover is rarely the most brilliant, it's the first confident actor. From an emotional perspective, confidence is resilience. It makes rejection informational, not existential. Setbacks become data points in a model you control, rather than verdicts on your worth. That gives you the composure to iterate, pivot, and persist while others give up. And from a life integrity perspective, confidence aligns your inner narrative with external behavior. You begin to live by design rather than by default. That produces dignity, and dignity compounds into legacy. The cost of never building that is quiet but brutal, a life of tiny choices that never add up, postponed dreams, and the slow erosion of self-trust. Without confidence, your calendar fills with low-value meetings because you don't schedule what matters. Your best ideas sit in drafts. You say yes when you should say no, you take on tasks that drain you, and slowly the things that actually define you, your energy, your purpose, your priorities, get worn down until they barely matter. Socially, you become negotiable. Professionally, you become replaceable. Emotionally, you live tethered to external validation. Even success becomes fragile because it's built on the shaky foundation of other people's approval. With confidence, you move from asking to deciding. You create scarcity, not by posture alone, but by contained presence. People orient toward you because you are a clearer gravitational center. Opportunities accelerate, not because the world changes, but because you do. You become the person who initiates rather than reacts. Mistakes stop feeling like failure and start feeling like experiments. Your time, your energy, your attention, all become assets you steward, not commodities others spend. This is not bragging. It's simple systems thinking. Confidence is the foundation of influence, lack of it optimizes reactivity. One of those paths leads to exponential growth, the other to compounding regret. Here are the 5 core alchemical processes. Each one is a repeatable intervention, a lab protocol you can run daily. This is inner alchemy as engineering. Practical rule: make a promise you can keep in 2 days. Keep it. Increase the interval. Track completion. This is progressive overload for identity. Alchemy 2, rewire fear through graduated stressors. Confidence is a learned habituation to discomfort. The amygdala calms when exposure is predictable and escalating. Design micro-challenges that create controlled stress. Speak for 60 seconds to a small group. Enter a room and hold eye contact for 15 seconds. Post an idea publicly without perfecting it. Each exposure is a data point that updates your model of threat. Practical rule: schedule 1 graded exposure every 48 to 72 hours. Measure subjective fear before and after. Chart reduction. That chart is feedback. That data fuels belief. Alchemy 3, use the body to rewrite the brain. Posture and voice are not cosmetic. They send top-down signals that modulate limbic activity. When you slump, your body tells the world you're uncertain. Shoulders in, head down, breath shallow. Your posture raises stress and lowers your presence. Stand tall and your prefrontal cortex regains capacity. Speak slower, lower your pitch, lengthen your pauses. These are levered signals that change how others receive you and how you feel inside. Practical rule: practice a 2-minute power stance twice a day. Record 3 decisive statements, play them back, adjust tempo and pitch. Use breath anchors before meetings. This is embodied rehearsal, it changes patterning. Alchemy 4, engineer small wins into momentum. Confidence feeds on results. The brain's reward system is literal, it needs micro-rewards to strengthen neural pathways. Break goals into micro-habits that produce consistent wins. Every completed micro-habit releases a pulse of dopamine that tells your brain, do that again. Practical rule: create a checklist of daily micro-wins and log them. Observe compounding, the same 5 wins, repeated. Create a certainty reservoir you can draw from on hard days. Alchemy 5, turn rejection into calibration. The confident mind converts social friction into information. When someone rejects you, a calibrated response is, what does this reveal about their model? Not, what does this say about me? That inversion is an alchemical shift. It turns pain into forecasting intelligence. Practical rule: after any rejection, write 3 hypotheses about why it occurred. Test one next interaction. Treat rejection as data, not doom. When you shift, the environment replies. Expect resistance. People prefer predictable patterns. When you change your behavior, some relationships will recalibrate. That's data. Some will leave. Good. Others will step up. Scarcity is not about withdrawal, it's about calibration. Becoming confident will reveal who values you for your presence versus who valued your availability. Don't mistake this for cruelty. It's clarity. The point is not to make enemies. The point is to optimize your circle so your energy is not a resource drained by those who take without contributing. Inner alchemy is not a license for domination. Power without ethics corrodes. The confident person who creates must also be grounded in purpose. Use your authority to create systems, to elevate talent, to tell truth. The highest form of confidence is stewardship, the ability to act decisively for good, not comfort. There will never be a perfect moment to become confident. The conditions will not magically align. Confidence is not an arrival point, it is a craft. It is the continual application of small, principled interventions that remodel your wiring.